Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. In today's video, we'll be answering a quick question. Does Kylian Mbappe deserve the Ballon d'Or? Does he deserve to be in the contention, in the top 5 Ballon d'Or ranking? And can he potentially be the winner on the 22nd of September? That's exactly what we'll be answering in today's video right here. You search up Mbappe Ballon d'Or on Twitter and you see a lot of posts. If win the Club World Cup, Mbappe should be a strong contender for the Ballon d'Or. But honestly, Hope Award lost his credibility since 2019. All right. Ballon d'Or, Mbappe, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or. And then this report as well, I saw that bookmarked as well. It seems there's no clear favorite for the Ballon d'Or this season. I mean, that's a lie. Several names like Mbappe, Yamal, Rafinha, Dembele, Lautaro, Kane, Pedri, Lewandowski have been mentioned. No, majority of these players, Martinez, I mean, he's not even in top 5 contention. They don't even include Salah here, who's been in top 5 contention for majority of the season. Harry Kane, no. Pedri, he's dropped off now. And Lev obviously missed the big games of the season. So none of these players, the only players that are touted at the moment for the Ballon d'Or is Lamine Yamal and Ousmane Dembele. They are the only 2 players touted for the Ballon d'Or. Rafinha's dropped off. So, but yeah. You see what they're trying to do here? Revisionism. That's the word I learned. That's what you're trying to do with Kylian Mbappe. And you know what? We'll come to the Club World Cup and even the Nations League. What we'll strictly do is just go through Kylian Mbappe's season. All right? It's very simple. Mbappe, he's this goal scorer. That's the only way he can impact games. Only has 3 assists in La Liga, as you can see. So, what we'll take a look at is Kylian Mbappe's season in full detail in all competitions he's participated in. Obviously, he was, in the UEFA Super Cup and the Intercontinental Club World Cup, but we don't care about that. First of all, let's take a look at Copa del Rey. I mean, it's the least interesting one. It's the one we care the least about. Played 28 minutes versus Minera, don't matter. Played 78 versus Celta Vigo, scored a goal. Sociedad 4-4. Stinker, it's usual. Obviously, he came off the bench, but it's Mbappe, and I believe Madrid were nearly getting knocked out in this Sociedad tie, and Mbappe was just holding up his hands and like, no, I'm good. I don't know, maybe I think Bellingham scored in that game, Rudiger as well. So Mbappe, huge game. What was it? Semi-final of the Copa del Rey to face Barca in the final. Mbappe, usual stinker. And then obviously here in the Copa del Rey final, he scored that free kick. Apart from that, I know he cooked Inigo that time, but this is not a Ballon d'Or player. This is not a Ballon d'Or player. This is my main issue with Kylian Mbappe. Yes, we'll come on that he has some more stuff he can do this season to, change the narrative and change, how his season is seen. But Copa del Rey so far, in the final, should have done better. Obviously came back from an injury. But then here, gigantic stinker there versus Sociedad. Let's go to La Liga. In La Liga, Kylian Mbappe obviously has 29 goals in 33 games with only 1 game left to play, which is really great. Kylian Mbappe's best league season was 33 for Paris Saint-Germain. That's still his best league campaign in terms of goals scored. And that season was even more impressive because not a single one of the 33 goals was a penalty. And obviously, this season, it's a bunch of penalties. So Mbappe, 7. Attempted 8, scored 7. So 22 non-penalty goals. I think Dambouz has 20 non-penalty goals this season in way less minutes, 2,800. If we, for example, compare that to Ousmane Dembele, strictly in the league, you can see that Ousmane Dembele, 21 goals in 1,730 minutes, which is an average of 1.09 goals per 90. What's Mbappe's goals per 90? Well, let's take a look at it. Hey, what is going on here? Oh, I maybe need to back off here. But Mbappe's goals per 90 in the league this season, as you can see that right there, 0.76. It's less impressive when you actually put in context 0.76. Like, that's a great number. But then when you look at Dembele, that's an absolutely elite, gigantic number. Absolutely incomparable. Oh, that's XG. Okay. You know what? 0.93. So it's still a great number from Kylian Mbappe there when it comes to his league campaign. But 22 non-penalty goals, a lot of fugays, A lot of farming versus the farmer team and so on. But you know what? We'll even give it to Mbappe because, I mean, this is what you expect from your striker in the league, to score goals. Obviously, in the beginning of the season, it was less. Then in 2025, he has, I think, 25 goals, 26 goals for Real Madrid in all competitions in 2025. So he's definitely up there. And it's a good to greatest league campaign. I mean, he still lost the league. You know, he still fumbled it in many important games. People mention both El Clásicos. Obviously, the first El Clásico, I mean, that was my favorite Kylian Mbappe stinker this season. And then this one that a lot of people hype up. Yes, it's a hat-trick versus Barca, but man, Barca have blood on their hands, man. Look, Borja Iglesias got a hat-trick versus Barca. Pavlidis got a hat-trick versus Barca. Gurasi got a hat-trick versus Barca. It's not really special scoring a hat-trick against Barca this season with the terrorist highline that they have. We saw the goals that Mbappe scored. It was tap-ins, it was fugaziness, it was penalties. So, league campaign, Copa del Rey, I'm going to give it barely impactful for it, maybe like a 6.5. The league campaign, you know, it was still good by Kylian Mbappe. I'm going to give the league campaign like an 8. High goal scoring, but not scoring in bigger games where he should have done better. But again, it's more in the Madrid team because I'm looking at the games he's played in. So, for example, Betis, they lost, stinker, he dropped. Valencia, they lost, stinker, he dropped. Barca scored 3. Then he got these 2 draws. He scored in both of them, even though I remember the Atletico game. He was so garbage. Another game they lost. He didn't score. I think he missed a penalty versus Bilbao. Another game they lost. Gigantic stinker versus Barca. Las Palmas. And then Mallorca. So as you can see, in many games where Madrid have dropped points, Espanyol defeat. Many of them, Mbappe dropped a generational stinker. 0 goals, 0 assists. Didn't impact the game at all. So he helped Madrid to win the league, but he also costed them. Especially when you take into consideration the La Liga standing from last season to this season. This season, Madrid are sitting on 81 points with 1 game left. Last season, they ended the campaign with 95 points. They scored 87 goals last season. This season, they've scored 76. Yes, the major difference, I would say, is Toni Kroos in that midfield. He was really impactful for Madrid last season. You could say Carvajal injury as well, but they had like Courtois injured, Militao injured last season, even though Militao's been injured this season as well. So basically the major thing when it comes to the difference is Toni Kroos. Apart from that, Kylian Mbappe has made Real Madrid score less goals than last season. 11 less goals they've scored. Obviously the defense, they've conceded 12 more. That's slightly on him, we can put it, but he's made the attack worse. Like Vinny is performing worse, Bellingham is performing worse, and Rodrigo is performing worse. Yes, a lot of people say, oh, but you know, it's Vinny, it's the Ballon d'Or. Yes, all of that is true, but I've said this about Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is exactly like Cristiano Ronaldo. He makes the attack worse around him because he's such a leech. Kylian Mbappe is not someone that's going to do what the team wants, what his teammates want. He wants everyone to do exactly what he wants. He wants them to become his slaves. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo when he went to Juventus. Higuain got cooked. Cuadrado became a right back. Mandzukic got cooked. Dybala got cooked. This happens all the time. We saw Benzema under Ronaldo and then Benzema when he was without Ronaldo. This is just Kylian Mbappe. He doesn't make attackers next to him great. He makes them look worse. At Paris Saint-Germain, he was playing against Neymar and Messi. It was impossible to make them look worse. And they made him look better than he is. But I'm going to still give the league campaign. He scored 29 goals. We'll give it 7.5 and 8. But lastly but not least, we will come to the big thing. You know, when Mbappe went to Madrid, when Perez was after Mbappe for 5 consecutive years, it wasn't to win the Fugazi La Liga or the Copa del Rey or the Supercopa de España. It was about one thing and one thing. That was the UEFA Champions League. Yes, Madrid have won it two times in the past 3 times. But that don't matter because the standard at Madrid is always to try to win the Champions League. And let's actually take a look in depth because I actually watched majority of the Champions League games that Kylian Mbappe participated in. So let's take a look at the first one. Stuttgart scored an absolutely disgusting tap-in. 7 shots, 1 disgusting tap-in. Lille, okay, he came off the bench, but gigantic stinker. Dortmund got an assist, but you know, he was barely impactful for that comeback Madrid made in that game. Milan played for 90 minutes, complete generational stinkers. You know, let's just click the stinkers. This was a stinker. This was a stinker. This was a stink. I mean, I didn't watch this game, but probably stinker. This was a gigantic stinker. This one was the biggest stinker of them all, missing a penalty as well. Atalanta, I didn't watch the game, but I saw he was good. He scored a great goal, then obviously got injured. Salzburg, it was a stinker with a tap-in. Brest, gigantic stinker. As you can see, 7 shots. He had 3 big chances in this game. Missed all of them. Then the Fugays. This one was a stinker, man. These 2 are stinkers. This one, I mean, a hat-trick. 3 great goals as well. Can't take away. And then you got 4 generational stinkers in a row. 90, 120 minutes, 90. The only good thing he did in these 4 games was winning that penalty in the Atletico Madrid game. Kylian Mbappe has taken 50 shots, 26 on target in the UEFA Champions League with only 7 goals. I think Kylian Mbappe has to have the worst conversion rate in the Champions League this season. I don't know if I can find that out, but Kylian Mbappe, when it came to the Champions League, when it came to the biggest tournament, I don't care what happens in La Liga. I don't care. When you look at Yamal, the Ballon d'Or hype he's receiving, it's because of what he's doing in the UCL. If you look at Dembouz, if you look at Rafinha, it's what they do in the UCL. So I don't know why we're going to give Mbappe the excuse and say, oh, no, let's actually take a look how we have been farming in the La Liga. That doesn't make any sense. Conversion rate. Please say there's a conversion rate. Penalty 1. Yeah, Mbappe's lucky. We can't find out Kylian Mbappe's dirty conversion rate in the UCL. But what we can see is that he's expected to score 9.2 goals for Real Madrid this season in the Champions League and only scored 7. So as you can see, well, how many games did he play? Well, basically all of them are stinkers. Atalanta, I give it to him. City, I give it to him. Then if you want to be extra nice, maybe you give him the City. Nah, that was a stinker, man. So as you can see, majority of the UCL games, he was absolutely garbage. So at the moment, does Kylian Mbappe deserve the Ballon d'Or? Absolutely no. Not in a million years. Not even top 5. He does not deserve top 5. We've seen Harry Kane farm in the Bundesliga and win the Golden Boot. He won the Golden Boot last season. Where did Harry Kane finish in the Ballon d'Or ranking? Yes, the Ballon d'Or ranking last season was heavily influenced by the Euros as well. Where Harry Kane played, obviously, but was complete garbage. But as you can see, Harry Kane finished 10th in the Ballon d'Or last season. Even though Bayern reached the Champions League semi-final, obviously didn't win the league, but he was the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga and the top goal scorer in Europe's top 5 leagues. But that didn't matter. But when it's Mbappe, when it's Madrid, then it suddenly matters. Then suddenly, Mbappe is the best player in the world. He deserves the Ballon d'Or. Why? Because he's been stat padding in the league. He lost the league, but it's Mbappe. And last thing but not least, we'll come to, can Mbappe change this? 100%. 100%. The first thing is obviously the Nations League. This game right here. Because, I mean, this game, I was really excited about it. When we finished off the quarterfinals of the Nations League, I was so excited. I was a bit, I wanted this to be the final. I wish France and Spain were in different sides. But obviously, they're going to face each other. And this game is bigger than it's ever been and will continue to get bigger. Because Lamine Yamal will be there. Pedri will be there. Kylian Mbappe will be there. Ousmane Dembélé will be there. And a bunch of other great players as well. It will be such a huge game. And especially when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, this game will matter. This game will definitely matter. I think it depends who it matters for. Obviously, the biggest thing would be Dembélé not winning the Champions League final. That would put so much on this game. It could, Yamal could try to change the narrative in that game. Mbappe could try to change the narrative. Dembouz, if he loses the final, for example, even though I think we'll win it, that don't matter. But Mbappe will definitely look at this game as something big. And not just this game, obviously winning the entire tournament, potentially winning the Nations League, his second with the France national team. If he can end up, I don't know, as a top scorer in these 2 games as well. They're obviously playing Spain in the semi and then Germany or Portugal. This will be a huge game for Kylian Mbappe. A lot of people will be watching this game beginning of the summer. Will definitely work for his Ballon d'Or stuff. And lastly but not least is the Club World Cup. I will make an entire separate video discussing the Club World Cup, my thoughts on it, and why a lot of people are underrating it. A lot of Barca fans are obviously underrating the Club World Cup because guess what? They're not part of it. But the Club World Cup, I think, will have a significant impact on the Ballon d'Or. Not just the winner, but the entire top 30. We will see at least 5 to 7 players be there mostly for what they did in the Club World Cup. That's how big I think it will be. Because It's a huge tournament in the summer. All the big teams and big players are there. And it's recency bias as well, because this tournament will obviously be closer to the Ballon d'Or voting than the Champions League and so on. And this is a tournament where Mbappe definitely can change the narrative. And I think that's going to be his biggest aim. Not just his biggest aim, but Real Madrid's biggest aim. With them having a trophyless season, this is their aim. New manager, Xabi Alonso, they've already started making a lot of signings. So Madrid are definitely the team that are mostly desperate to win this Club World Cup. And that is perfect for Kylian Mbappe and his Ballon d'Or stuff. So to summarize everything I've said, at the moment, is Kylian Mbappe a deserved Ballon d'Or contender? Should he be in the top 5? Absolutely no. Can that change? Yes. Do I believe at the moment, if there was a vote, Mbappe will get top 5? Unfortunately, I think so. You know, a lot of these Ballon d'Or, it's what team you play for. So Madrid will push all their votes for Mbappe, and Madrid have a lot of, power and manipulation tactics and so on. But at the moment, I don't think he deserves to be there. But I do think Kylian Mbappe will be a very tough competitor for Ousmane Dembele heading into the Ballon d'Or on the 22nd of September with the upcoming Nations League ahead of him. Potentially, he has one La Liga game more. He can win the Golden Boot, score 30 goals in the league. And, it just... The masses, majority of the people that vote for these stuff are casuals. What's the definition of a casual? It's someone that watches 1 out of 5 games. So he doesn't have the entire picture and watches FootMob and SofaScore and watches comps. We need people to vote for this stuff that actually watch every single game. And not just watch every single... You don't even need to watch Mbappe versus Mallorca or some garbage team. Just watch him in the Champions League. In the most premium, exclusive, high-quality competition. Don't try to hype up La Liga to me. We're talking about a Ballon d'Or. We're not talking about the Zamora or the top La Liga top scorer award. Mbappe can get that. We're talking about the Ballon d'Or. The Ballon d'Or. And nowhere this season has Kylian Mbappe showed himself to be the best player in the world. Even in the game, a recent El Clasico where he scored a hat-trick, he wasn't the best player in that game. So please, I understand Madrid fans will obviously hype up their player to win the Ballon d'Or. Completely understand that. But yeah, this is my opinion. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez Paris.